Today I have 5 different pieces of lost media for you. These range a lot, but I found them all to be pretty interesting. Alright, let's begin. So the first one is the $1 Million Pyramid. It was released for the Nintendo Wii on March 8, 2011. The $1 Million Pyramid is directly based on the US game show Pyramid, a long-running program that began circulation on March 26, 1973. The project was developed by Lucia Incorporated and published by Ubisoft Entertainment. It should be noted that while the game draws its sources directly from the 1973 program, it is primarily based on the 2002 iteration of the show. Gameplay. It should be noted that while the game draws on its source material from the 1973 program, it is primarily based on the 2002 iteration of the show. Gameplay consists of 2-player teams, 1 celebrity, and 1 regular contestant, taking turns giving each other clues to words within one of 6 categories without saying the answer out loud. Since the game wasn't popular, few reviews can be found. However, of the review sites that have a listing, people have noted that some screenshots from the game have a noticeably different color scheme and design than what was released. In August 2020, a new screenshot of the game surfaced online showing the game with a different color scheme. In addition, the logo in the screenshot was a recreation of the 2002 logo instead of the released game's logo. While the existence of the early version of the game has been confirmed, no ROM or disc of the original version of the game has been found. Alright, we'll move on to our next topic, the 12-Ounce Mouse. The 12-Ounce Mouse is an American animated comedy and espionage television series created by Matt Malinera, I can't say that, I'm sorry, for Adult Swim. It is known for its simplistic art style and its increasingly complex storyline. The first 2 seasons originally aired from 2005 to 2006, with an additional webisode being released online as a finale in 2007. The series ultimately returned for a special in 2018 and an additional 3rd season in 2020. Original plot. 12-Ounce Mouse editor John Breston briefly mentioned a lost early pilot in a 2021 interview with CoinDog Central, a prominent fan website. Breston explained that only a few staff members were even aware of it. In this early pilot, then Adult Swim Vice President Keith Crawford provided the voice for the character Golden Joe, and the character was to be the boss of the titular protagonist, Mouse Fitzgerald, aka Fitz. In the main series, the voice of Golden Joe was provided by Vishal Rodney, and the character Shark briefly served as Fitz's boss. Breston laments the fact that he did not save the pilot in any way, and it is now unreversible, making it completely lost. Another pilot entitled Hired was produced for 12-Ounce Mouse. Hired officially serves as the first episode of the series, and it originally aired on June 19th, 2005. Alright, we'll move on to the next topic, the 1899 FA Cup Final. It is the lost footage of this match. It's a football match, or football. Americans know it as soccer. The 1899 FA Cup Final culminated the 28th FA Cup season, occurring on 15th of April, in front of a then world record 73,833 at the Crystal Palace. The match saw Sheffield United defeat Derby County 4-1 to claim its first FA Cup. The match is historic for being the first FA Cup to be filmed. Background: Sheffield United and Derby County, as Football League's First Division members, entered the tournament in the first round proper. Sheffield United's road to the final saw it defeat Burnley, Preston North End, Nottingham Forest, and, following 4 matches being required to decide the winner, Liverpool. Meanwhile, Derby County's campaign consisted of it overcoming Woolwich Arsenal, Wolverhampton Wanderers, Southampton, and Stoke. Both teams were seeing the first FA Cup, with Derby having lost the 1898 final to Nottingham Forest 3-1. Meanwhile, this was Sheffield's first final. A year prior, Sheffield optician Henry Jasper Redfern had begun associating with the filmmaking industry, providing Lumiere cinematography exhibitions. Lumiere, I think that's how that is. Utilizing a stereoscopic camera. Redfern filmed events within Sheffield, including local cricket games. The camera essentially showcased animated photographs, where it captured several photographs in short order that were to be combined to animate the action. In 1899, he traveled to the FA Cup semi-final games Sheffield United were playing at, capturing football of all 4 Liverpool country encounters. He would then travel to the Crystal Palace to capture footage of the 1899 FA Cup final, making it the first final to be filmed. The 5 matches were showcased in a film entitled Football Events from 8th May 1899. However, the London-based Warwick Trading Company, an influential producer of British films during the Vietnam era, were also interested in filming the match. Based on surviving information in the film, it provided certain moments from the game, including the Sheffield players and officials entering the pitch, midfield play, a Sheffield corner, Derby's sole goal, shots of the crowd, and the players exiting the field. None of Sheffield's goals were captured, because the actual film would be limited to around 300 feet of celluloid. Thus, attempting to capture the entire game would have wasted celluloid, an expensive material during this time period. Future FA Cups finals would be partially filmed as part of the newsreels from the 1900s onwards, with the 1938 edition becoming the first to be fully televised live. Availability. Ultimately, despite the historic nature of both films, neither the Redfern nor Warwick Trading Company's recordings of the final have survived. The oldest surviving footage of an FA Cup final originates from 1901, with Sheffield losing to Tottenham Hotspur. Nevertheless, some photographs of the match have resurfaced, including a few from Redfern that we recovered in 2020. Alright, our next topic is 2001: A Space Odyssey, lost deleted scenes of Stanley Kubrick's sci-fi film, 1968. 2001: A Space Odyssey is a 1968 epic science fiction film produced and directed by Stanley Kubrick, and was inspired by Clarke's 1951 short story, The Sentinel, and other short stories by Clarke, including Keir Dullea as David Bowman. I'm sorry with names. It originally debuted in the USA on April 3, 1968, with a UK premiere on May 15, 1968. The plot of this film follows mankind's biggest moments of progress, leading up to space travel and the struggle between mankind and machines. There were about 17 minutes of cuts made to the film by Stanley Kubrick, days after its world premiere, to tighten the film. Multiple sources include details of what these scenes pertained to. These cuts seem primarily to alter the pacing of certain scenes rather than removing scenes altogether. Lost scenes. Some shots from the Dawn of Man sequence were removed, and a new scene was inserted where an ape pauses with the bone it is about to use as a tool. The new scene was a low-angle shot of the monolith, done in order to portray and clarify the connection between the man-ape using the tool and the monolith. Some shots of Frank Poole jogging in the centrifuge were removed. An entire sequence of several shots in which Dave Bowman searches for the replacement antenna part in storage was removed. A scene where Hal serves radio communications between the Discovery and Poole's pod before killing him was removed. This scene explains a line that stayed in the film in which Bowman addresses Hal on the subject. Some shots of Poole's spacewalk before he is killed were removed. Availability. On October 10th, 2017, an article came out from Bloomsburg Mag that all 17 minutes of the cut footage have been found by Warner Brothers in a salt mine vault in Kansas. As such, these scenes are not lost per se, but they are not likely to resurface to the public at the moment. And for our final topic, it is the 5,000 Fingers of Dr. T, the lost original cut of Dr. Seuss's film, 1953. The 5,000 Fingers of Dr. T is a 1953 American film that is noteworthy of being the only film written by Theodore Geisel, better known as Dr. Seuss. The film itself is not lost. However, the original cut of the film, which had a darker tone and included twice as many musical numbers, is completely lost, as even Sony Pictures hasn't been able to find a copy of it. However, the screenplay has been found, which is 1,000+ pages in length, far longer than the average movie screenplay, but has not been released. Before his death, Geisel denounced the film and purposely left it unmentioned in his biography, so he may have played a part in its disappearance. I'm sorry if I'm getting that name wrong. I think I'm saying it right, Dr. Seuss's name, but I'm not sure. Plot. The film's story focuses on Bart, a young boy living with his widowed mother. More than anything, Bart dreads his strict piano instructor, Dr. Tillwiker. After Bart complains to the plumber, August Zabludowski, about how his instructor might be influencing his mom, Bart dozes off at a piano and dreams. In his dream, he finds himself trapped in the Terwilker's Institute. Terwilker? That is a... Dr. Seuss has an interesting name. He just makes crazy names. A place where Bart's piano teacher is a dictator. Dr. Tillwiker has created a piano so massive that it requires 500 boys, including Bart, to play it, enslaving them in the Institute. Bart's mother, hypnotized by Dr. Terwilker, believes she is his bride-to-be. Throughout the film, Bart tries to save his mother from it by evading guards and recruiting the reclusive Mr. Zabludowski to save him. After convincing the plumber to help, the two build a machine that ruins the debut concert for the mega piano and starts a riot for the enslaved boys. Eventually, the machine explodes, waking Bart from his dream. Noticing when he wakes up that the plumber has distracted his mother, Bart runs outside to play. Production. Many changes were made to the film prior to its release due to negative feedback from the test audience. 13 of the original 24 music numbers were removed entirely from production, leaving 11 in the movie. Prior to their removal, every musical number had been filmed. It is unknown if the footage survives to this day. Several subplots were cut that included the songs. It is rumored that the premiere version was 139 minutes long, while the film today lasts only 89 minutes. Some censorship was also added to one number, namely the mention of gas chambers in the elevator song, which could have been misconstrued as a reference to the Holocaust, so the specific stanza was removed. Availability. While neither the screenplay or any of the cut footage is available, all of the songs cut from the film can still be heard on a limited CD soundtrack release online and the bootleg vinyl record, which includes the songs in the film today and most of the cut songs. Alright, so that was 5 lost media that seem to be completely lost for now. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If so, please like and subscribe and I'll make more like it. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.